All right. Hello, everyone, which is basically no one. But anyway, I did want to make a video. Um, Again, going back to um, my first book, The Introduction of Self, which I wrote in 2011 and published in about 2012. It's been a while. Um, I'm going to read about two and a half, 3 pages, and I want to talk about it. My sixth sense. From the best we can tell, life is a minuscule, proportionally irrelevant part of the universe. At least for the time being, it not only isn't in control, but has virtually no universal impact whatsoever. There isn't anything life can do, even if it were in control, that would matter to the universe anyway. It can be difficult for us to grasp, but we have every reason to believe that we live on a single planet in a single universe that doesn't care about us or anything else. That can be sad and lonely. That can be a sad and lonely thought to think that we are all at the whim of a dark and mindless cosmos, which can only provide whatever it happens to by chance. However, if you understand life itself, joy is a much more logical reaction. Despite how tiny and secluded, every form of life here matters, even if only to itself. Unlike everything else, unlike everything else, has meaning. Just imagine a universe without life, and you'll already be tapping into not just the meaning of life, but also the meaning of everything. Without life, a universe that is just one big black hole is just as pointless as one filled with Earth like planets. Anything and everything only matters because of life. It's the ability to sense which gives meaning to anything and to everything. It's an ability that only life possesses. It's an ability that has changed throughout time, that has become more capable and more complex, and therefore more convoluted and unnecessary to survival as well. Life forms are what they sense. Every action they take, every effect they have, comes directly from those senses. What any life form is and does depends on its ability to sense and the utilization of those senses. In that regard, we aren't any different. However, we are capable of sensing much more, and in much different ways than all other life combined. This vastly greater ability is one reason we are so powerful. It's also one of the main reasons we seem so unique compared to all other life. Aside from our abilities, however, there is also one other very important difference between us. It is our use of them. Out of all life, we humans are the only beings that do not even come close to making full use of our senses, and therefore our existence. We do not use all of our senses anywhere near capacity because survival does not require it. In fact, it contradicts it. All life seems to sense in a like way. No matter how much they can sense or what they can sense, they logically possess an internal drive to survive. This automated decision making process works with what a being senses to keep them alive and safe. Our senses are so incredibly powerful, varied, unique, and vast that life and safety do not require our full potential. Our uniquely human senses are so far beyond what is needed to survive that they take a back seat to the ones that are. We're so overly capable that our most powerful capabilities typically either get unused, used marginally, or only show up when necessary. In any case, they become relatively useless in terms of genuine human progression. It's ironic, but we have to get a sense of our senses before we ever truly utilize them. This special trait is unlike the standardized automation of life. It doesn't automatically come to us, but also allows us to exist beyond what we are shown. It allows us to show ourselves. Um, there's more I'd like to read, but I'll do it in another video because I just want to talk about that. Um, Basically, all I was saying with that page and a half is something that is extremely important, which is we humans, every single one of us. I say it all the time, but I don't know. Maybe we have to, enough of us have to say it enough until it sinks in, and enough of us get it to a point. But we humans throughout time and currently, including me and everyone else, and the president and the soon to be president and the president of every other country on earth and every other human, you get it, um, limits themselves. We don't limit ourselves because we think about it and say, oh man, let's just live in the matrix like Cypher, if you know that reference. And even though I know there's more to reality, ignorance is bliss. So I'm just going to eat my virtual steak to continue with the Cypher reference. We don't do it in a thoughtful way. We do it in a completely mindless, not mindless, because our subconscious is part of our mind, but we do it completely subconsciously. We limit ourselves because it is, we are perfectly capable of surviving in our worlds, not just this modern world, but 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, even 10,000, 100,000 years ago. We are capable of surviving with by limiting ourselves, by only reducing ourselves to a subconscious level. Where, in other words, if you're a caveman 100,000 years ago, um, it's a little different because you are surviving physically every flipping second. So you're not going to stop and be super conscious and think a lot. You're spending, whatever, 18 hours a day making sure you're hunting and building huts and whatever, surviving. You don't have time for conscious. It's like, obviously one of those survival shows 24/7. You're not going to stop and think about writing or have deep thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And once we passed that point, um, and we made progress within civilization, um, we still only needed our subconscious because then things were just easy. We never got to a point in our humanity where we have to push ourselves mentally. We can survive, and we've always been able to survive. And like I said, in the past, when it was kill or be killed, it benefited us to only survive subconsciously. You're not going to come across a bear and think too much. You know what I mean? No, that's your subconscious training to use your dang spear or your bow and arrow. Um, so anyway, that's basically the point of that page and a half, and it's a vital point that I make over and over again. I just want to talk a little bit about that and how incredibly powerful we really are consciously. Yeah, we're powerful compared to everything else on this planet subconsciously, but we have no idea how powerful we really are consciously when we think and challenge our comfort zones. And like, so much would change so rapidly in our human civilization if we applied a fraction more conscious effort. Um, so basically, that's what it's saying, and it's just the beginning of the my sixth sense chapter. But that's the gist of why I wrote that chapter, is because it talks about how extremely limited we are, and no matter who you are, you can be super successful socially. You're limiting yourself to get there, and you're limiting yourself by accepting it and just existing. Um, so anyway, that's where I want to stop since I'm at 9:40.